Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Rishabh Arora, and today we are going to start with the discussion of Marg. And today's topic is environment and geography. So today we are going to discuss that why urban flooding has been seen in the news. So the question says that the recent floods has again reminded us that development which is going on, it is not harmony with the conservation of the environment. So the author of the question is simply asking you that what are the causes of the frequent urban flooding? Why urban flooding is taking place in such manner? They are saying it means the development of our country is going at a very fast rate, but we are not looking, or we are not developing our country in a sustainable manner. It means we are not conserving the environment. We are only focusing upon the growth. So how to address the question? First of all, you have to give the very brief definition of the urban flooding. That urban flooding is nothing but the inundation of the land and the concrete area. Then you have to tell me that what is the recent context. You can also give the example of 2020 Hyderabad and the Gurugram floods. And you can also cite the example of the sinking of the IT capital. We have recently seen many what should I say with respect to this? Many cities have come under the monsoonal rains during this season. And generally, because of all these things, UPSC also tends to ask question in disaster management that what is urban flooding. And now you have seen that since we have already given the introduction, you have to write that why urban flooding is happening at the first instance. Ye ho hi kyun raha hai? Why urban flooding is happening. So you have to tell me two to five reasons that why it is happening. The first reason I could say that concretization is taking at a very good pace. What is concretization? Now suppose there is a land which is the upper layer is the soil. Then we know there are 5 layers of the soil. The 5th layer, the horizon E, you will find it is the parent rock. But because of the urbanization, because of the less availability of the land, we are also constructing urban centers. We are also constructing malls, buildings on the outskirts of the developed areas. Like you will see the outskirts of the Delhi area has also started developing. Meerut is one of the biggest example for this. You can also see the developing cities which are near the Delhi, but earlier the areas were purely rural in nature or very backward in nature. So basically what I am saying, the private players are developing the area by concretizing the area. Concretize means by replacing the land with the concrete. The cement has been placed now. And what is the effect of that? The water which is coming from the cloud or the rainfall will not percolate to the ground. The water will not be absorbed by the soil now. And the concrete does not absorb the water. It results or it leads to aggregation of the water. And because of the aggregation of water, we see inundation of the land. Inundation of the land means land पानी के नीचे आ गया. Urban flooding हो गई. तो सबसे पहला हो गया हमारा concretization. Second हो गया focusing only on grey water infrastructure. बहुत से स्टूडेंट को यहाँ पे डाउट होता है कि ये ग्रे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है क्या. ग्रे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का मतलब बच्चों ये होता है कि हम सिर्फ नाली, नाला, सूएज, ड्रेन्स, इनके ऊपर फोकस कर रहे हैं, जो आपने देखा होगा कि स्पेसिफिकली सीमेंट से बने होते हैं। तो आपने ये देखा होगा, अगर आप यूपी में रहते हैं तो आपने देखा होगा सीवर्स बने होते हैं जो राउंड शेप में होते हैं, बहुत बड़े बड़े साइज में, छोटे भी होते हैं बड़े भी होते हैं, वो सीमेंट से बने होते हैं, तभी उसको ग्रे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बोला जाता है। नाला भी जो है वो सीमेंट के पत्थरों से बनाया जाता है, जो उसकी आउटर कवरिंग होती है। तो प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पर ये है कि ग्रे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे ऊपर हम बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करते हैं, जो कि एक एडिक्वेट मेथड नहीं है टू एड्रेस अर्बन फ्लडिंग, बल्कि इसके वजह से अर्बन फ्लडिंग बहुत ज्यादा होती है, बिकॉज ऑफ द पुअर सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट and because of the saturation of the nalas, or when water comes beyond their capacity. if i will keep if I will keep pouring water into this glass, then the glass has the saturation point here, then the water is going to overflow from the glass. Okay, I will tell you, Nandini, that what should be there than the gray water infrastructure. Then because of the gray infrastructure, we see the water starts overflowing from the nalas and from the sewers, and also a lot of waste also comes up because of this, which also leads to infectious or the very non-communicable disease like dengue, malaria. Then we have seen encroachment of the land. Concretization is one thing, and encroachment of land or wetland means wetland which earlier act as a absorber of water and the replenishment of the nutrients. It was a task done by the wetland and were also catering to many species. Now this wetland has been developed as, this area of the wetland has been developed as an urban center. So you will see in Hyderabad floods which occurred in 2020, it was in a report, it was cited that around 70 to 80% of the wetlands are being encroached by the government or by the private players for building a mall, for building a shopping establishment, or building a house or a society. So because of the encroachment of the land, we have seen what? We have seen that the water bodies which were absorbing the water, now they are not doing the same task because they have now been concretized. Right. So now we have discussed 2 points, concretization, and then we have the encroachment of the land. Third is the grey water infrastructure. Fourth, you can write that unawareness, ये भी लिख सकते हो. And then you can also write about urban heat island effect. Now, what is urban heat island effect? This is a very geographical concept. Let's understand in a very detailed manner. You must know, if you have read geography and you are thorough with the geography topics and concepts, whenever you find there is heat, you will find a low pressure will develop in that region. And in low pressure, air moves in a vertical manner, which creates a vertical air current. Air current means the air will start moving up. Wherever you will see that temperature is high, you will see that the low pressure is developing. And when this low pressure area develops, you will see the air starts moving up. Now, because of the presence of skyscrapers matlab very large and very tall, huge buildings in the urban centers, you will see the sunlight is falling directly on the roof. Sunlight is falling directly on the roof. So you will see, because of the skyscrapers, the air is developed, a low pressure has been developed over the skyscraper. Because you will see these are two buildings. One this and the second is this. This is a skyscraper, right? So you will see this building which is at the good height, which is at which height is more than this one. You will see the roof of this building will be hotter than this one. Why? Because it is more closer to the sun by a few meters. And since it is at a very good height, it will also get heated more. Then the low pressure develops, the low pressure which develops here, it is also going to move up. The air moves up in a very fast manner. It means a lot of evaporation is going to take place now, because the vertical air current is very high, and more the height of the vertical air current, the more it is going to precipitate. So this could be also attributed because of the more rainfall. You can also write about the climate change. But when we are saying class urban flooding, actually it is more of the anthropogenic reason. More of the anthropogenic reason, right? Okay, मैं बाद में समझाऊंगा, अभी इसको समझो पहले. बाद में अभी मैं समझाऊंगा, इसका मतलब आप समझ गए हो कि मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. Measures which should be taken to mitigate the urban flooding. Measures should be taken to mitigate the urban flooding. अब सबसे पहला मेजर है कि जैसे नंदिनी ने मेरे से पूछा कि ग्रे वाटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की जगह क्या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और होना चाहिए. हम ये नहीं कह रहे हैं कि ग्रे वाटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हटा देना चाहिए. हम बस जस्ट गिव मी अ सेकेंड. यस, हम बस यहाँ पे ये कह रहे हैं that the government emphasizes more on grey water infrastructure in order to fight this urban flooding. So what we have to do, actually we have to create more blue-green infrastructure. Now what is blue-green infrastructure? Rather than creating pavements or the footpath of cement, we should keep the footpath of grass and soil. It means we should not create footpath of cement. We should use more green infrastructure. And when I am saying blue infrastructure, I am saying that make water bodies on the terrace, or create water parks in the city so that they can absorb. Okay, class, can you hear me and can you see me? Please tell me in the comment section. Okay. So because of the battery, we had to face such technical issue, but let's continue. So I was talking about that we should focus more upon the creation of the green and the blue infrastructure. We should create pavements of the grass so that water can percolate down and it can recharge the groundwater table as well. Then we should also create a water park. Water park means blue infrastructure, more creation of the wetland, which will help in absorbing the more and more water. So rather than focusing on creation of the gray infrastructure, we should focus more on the creation of the green and the blue infrastructure. Then second point, urban flooding, we can say that we have to make sure that whatever the development which is taking place here, it should not pass before the scrutiny of the EIA, that is Environment Impact Assessment, EIA. This was a concept brought by United States, later on adopted by many countries, where I am going to scientifically assess that how a particular area is going to get affected. How a particular area is going to get affected. What species are going to get affected over here? Will the air is going to be get polluted and other things. So I am not, I will see how the water will be there, how water is going to be aggregated. Because suppose now I have created a building which is made up of concrete. First of all, urban heat island effect is going to take. Then more concrete is also being used because earlier the land was made up of soil and the parent rock. Now it is only concrete. So if there is proper scientific analysis of the project, then we will be able to easily able to mitigate the urban flooding. Then we can also go for structural reforms. Structural reforms means we have a structural and non-structural reforms. Like when urban flooding comes, we should have a flood walls, flood shelters. We should also do more work for non-structural reforms, like we have a rain forecasting measure, or we can say the early warning system. That is a non-structural measure, which will allow people to take preventive measures when the flood is going to take place. Then you can write about that we need a uniform policy. We can also write about that we should not only focus upon the growth, but you should also focus upon the conservation of the environment, which means we have to focus upon the sustainable development of the land, right? And we need a very uniform and a definitive policy where we can ensure that the urban city planning is done in a scientific manner, right? And this is how you have to conclude with respect to the answer. Now, is there any doubt apart from the skyscraper part? Policy should include the policy should incorporate that more emphasis should be done on the blue-green infrastructure. Policy should also incorporate the examples of China, like creation of a what did China create? A sponge city. Policy should also include the a detailed study should also be there, analyzing the topography of the soil and the level and the frequency of the land where inundation has taken place. मतलब आप समझ रहे हैं मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि हम एक साइंटिफिक स्टडी क्रिएट करनी चाहिए जहां पर हम ये देखेंगे कि भाई लैंड जो है वो कितना पानी में आ रहा है बार बार. सॉइल की टोपोग्राफी पढ़नी चाहिए हमें. तो पॉलिसी में ये डालना जरूरी है. यूनिफॉर्म पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए which every state should follow before going for development activities, और EIA necessary कर देना चाहिए. ये आप पॉलिसी में लिख सकते हो, right? Any other doubt? बच्चे क्लाइमेट कम्युनिकेशन वगैरह नहीं लिखना चाहिए, क्योंकि क्लाइमेट कम्युनिकेशन तो क्लाइमेट चेंज के लिए है, विच इज ऑल्सो अ नेचुरल रीजन. क्लाइमेट चेंज ऑल्सो हैपेंस बिकॉज ऑफ द नेचुरल रीजन. तो सेंसिटाइजेशन, क्रिएटिंग अवेयरनेस, ये भी आप लिख सकते हो कंक्लूजन में, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बट क्लाइमेट कम्युनिकेशन एक टेक्निकल टर्म है जो कि स्पेसिफिकली क्लाइमेट चेंज के लिए यूज करा जाता है, राइट? So yes, we can talk about with the people with respect to the urban flooding, which is natural, which can be say generally is considered as a man-made phenomenon. Urban flooding. अर्बन एरियाज में इतनी बारिश होती ही नहीं है वैसे, बट प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जितनी भी बारिश हो रही है वो ही सब कुछ चक्का जाम कर देती, बिकॉज वहां पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऐसा. हाँ, एटीट्यूड ऑफ द पीपल में आप पुअर सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट भी लिख सकते. ठीक है, हेडिंग थोड़ी गलत हो जाएगी ये. पुअर सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट शुड बी द राइट है. थोड़ा कीवर्ड आप लिखना जरा, तो उससे क्या होता है, ज्यादा सही रहता है. बाकी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है उसमें.
I want to add two more points.
Okay.
So first is floodplain zoning. Floodplain जो river का floodplain है वहाँ पे like unorganized construction हो रहे हैं, that we have to
Yes.
done. That
Yes.
we have covered under EIA, that mandatory. And one more thing, sir, that is like underwater river storing, that is in China and Japan and Malaysia, like some developed countries, where when certain water level goes after some level, that water will flow into a reservoir kind of thing that is in constructed underground, and it will manage that water, and it will store that water. Then we can discharge that water to river or something. Or we can use it in other purpose like agriculture and other things.
You can write this, provided that you cite the example.
So this is a case study from Japan and Malaysia. Sir. Both countries have discussed it.
And you can also write with respect to the construction activities or the development activities occurring in the violation of the coastal
zone, CRZ. Sir.
Yes, CRZ he's saying.
Yes, sir. I will definitely.
Right.
Sir.
Okay. Okay. Right. Very good. Okay, thank you. Tomorrow we will meet again and then we will discuss this. Thank you. Okay, Nandini. Yes, after class.